Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. I hope you're having a great day. Stay positive, stay focused. Let's get to it. What is the hot topic that's going on YouTube or Instagram? Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Don't forget, the Cash App is Let's Talk About It Media. Thank you for all your love and support. So don't forget to like, to comment, but be kind, and also turn on the notification bell. That way, every time I upload a video, you'll be the first one to see it. So let's talk Jada, because is Will and Jada telling the truth? And I say that because she's did a lot of interviews, and we get it. You got to promote a book. You got to talk about a book. You got to talk about what's going on in your relationship. You got to talk about Pop. Let's get through some of these clips, y'all. Because eyebrow is raised, and therapists, psychologists, body readers, many people are talking about, is Jada telling the truth about everything? Let me go forward. Let me do these videos first, and then I'm going to talk about what she talked about. Because it is interesting. It is interesting that so much is coming out, so much is being said, but then she's almost saying in her first interview, they were separated, right? And now she's saying the E, after the Oscar situation, they were together. Well, why didn't you say that with Hoda? Many people are saying, Jada, something ain't right in the milk. Let's get to the clip.
Things that you had to write about in this book was losing your friend, your soulmate.
Let me go to the other one.
Does it feel like a huge weight has been lifted off your shoulders now that the truth is out?
Yeah, and I think also I think how it was set up, the idea that we were separated for 7 years and that we're like still apart. After the Oscars, we made our way back. I think that piece has been left out of the narrative, and I stopped.
She left it out.
At the Oscars. But we needed that time. That was the moment that I knew I would never leave Will's side. After all those years of thinking that I would, after all those years of thinking, I'm going to get divorced, I'm going to get a legal separation, da-da-da-da-da. The Oscar night and having to go through such an emotional crisis in that way, immediately I knew I would never leave Will's side no matter what. And I didn't go in there as his wife, but I was leaving as his wife. So it showed me that love can conquer all.
So you didn't go in there as his wife, but you left as his wife? Why didn't you say that to Hoda in 3 of the interviews you did with Hoda? So then let's talk Tupac. Let's talk Tupac, baby.
Does it feel like a huge weight has been lifted off your shoulders now that the truth is out?
Yeah, and I think also I think how it was set up, the idea that we were separated for 7 years and that we're like still apart. After the Oscars, we made our way back. I think that piece has been left out of the narrative.
She left it out. Why did she leave that out?
One of the most difficult things that you had to write about in this book was losing your friend, your soulmate, Tupac Shakur.
On the internet, there's been a whole lot about me calling Pac my soulmate. And I think people regard soulmate just in a romantic way. And soulmates aren't just romantic, right? Because as you read in the book,
exactly,
Pac and I were not romantic. But he is a soulmate. I know I will see him again.
You write about the day that Suge Knight delivered his ashes to you.
Right.
I could feel your rage on that page. What can you tell us about that day?
Having to receive Pac's ashes in that way was a really devastating moment. to just get him in this little cardboard box. And yeah, I was very rageful about the whole thing.
You're right that he was sort of cavalier about how he delivered it. And,
He was.
And did that make you think that he was somehow involved?
One thing I've learned, not to make assumptions. Lord knows so many assumptions have been made about me of what people think they know. And there's always more to the story, so I can't make assumptions.
So why did she receive? Why did Jada receive ashes and not his mom, not his girlfriend that he had been living with for 4 months, not the woman that was at the hospital when he took his last breath? Why did Jada receive the ashes? Why isn't anybody asking that in this interview? Why isn't anybody asking Jada, when you did 3 interviews with Hoda, why didn't you tell Hoda after you left the Oscars, you left with Will as his wife? Things aren't adding up. Is she not remembering? Now I'm concerned. Is Jada okay? Now I'm concerned because things that she's saying, she's not saying the same thing in each interview. It's so different. You would think that, I don't know, every interview is different. Every conversation is different. Every scenario is different. The only thing that she's basically said and she stands firm on is allegedly the things with Tupac. But once again, why did Jada receive the ashes? Not his mom, not his girlfriend, or not any of his homies or friends. Can you tell me that? I watched a video in regards to what's the music producer's name? Okay, what's the music producer's name that was dating Tupac? The music producer's daughter, I can't think of her name, it starts with a K. She was dating Tupac. Back in the day, Tupac had made comments about the dad in regards to how many children he had, all these broken homes, all these kids. And later on, the producer dad had said, hey, date anybody but him. Because she was a fashion designer for Tommy Hilfiger. Great designer. I'll do probably a separate video about that. But the biggest thing is she dated Tupac. Tupac later apologized to her and the dad, and they lived together. I don't think her dad knew that. So, make a long story short, I'll probably do a separate video. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out why Jada received the ashes and not her, the producer's daughter, not his mom. You're telling me the mom didn't even get the ashes? Why is that? How is that? Who asked for him to be cremated and not buried where his fans could show him love, show him respect? You understand what I'm saying? Who makes that call? Did his mom make that call for him to be cremated? It's so many missing holes in there. Family makes that decision, not a producer or a record label. But she was mad that that's what happened with him. So many things are not making sense. Now, what I will say, more's coming out. I'll do a separate video on that. But yeah, something's not adding up. Why didn't Jada tell Hoda the same thing she's telling this young man from E? Well wishes. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe.